Hey everybody, welcome back. My name is Abby with Fitness is Medicine, and today I'm going to show you a workout that you can do in your home using only two tools, a kettlebell and a fitball. If you don't have a kettlebell, go ahead and grab one dumbbell that's a little bit heavier, maybe 10 or 20 pounds depending on where you're at, and a fitball. Or if you don't have a kettlebell or a dumbbell, then grab a jug of water or a heavy jar of pickles or something, and we can do the same thing. So first we're going to start though with push-ups using just your body weight. If you've watched my videos before, you know there's many different variations that you can do to make this work for you. First one, starting on a countertop and doing some push-ups with your feet back just a little bit. You can do it kind of at your kitchen sink with your fingers wrapped around. The next one would be lowered down to like a coffee table, and then finally down onto the floor, and I'll demonstrate both of those today. So wherever you know that it is a challenge for you, but a safe one, go ahead and start there. We're going to do 10 of these. So I'm going to start on my knees to show you proper form. You want a good straight line from the top of your head down to your knees. And if those feel okay, try a couple up on your toes. The other way you can do it is start on your toes. And then if you start getting tired, drop to your knees. That's okay. It's still the same muscles being worked. It's just a shorter lever. One thing that I see time and time again when people are doing push-ups is that they want to dip their heads. And it's really common. It's just human nature, I think. But you want to think about tucking your chin and going all the way down flat, leading with your chest. Go ahead and do 10 at any of those ranges of motion that are comfortable to you, but still a challenge. And remember, keep that straight line. We don't want to be here dipping. We want a nice straight line. You can check yourself out if you have a mirror. It's hard to tell sometimes. Or if you can, just do a quick video with your phone or something, just to check your form if you don't have a mirror that you can see. So work on that form, work on, the level that challenges you in a safe range of motion. Okay, next we're going to grab that kettlebell. Like I said, if you don't have a kettlebell, grab one dumbbell or a gallon jug of water or, a jar of pickles or something. So I'm just going to hold this right here. Spread your feet apart, a little wider than hip width apart, and we're going to sit back and do a squat. So what I want you to do is drop that kettlebell right in between your feet, keeping your chest up nice and high. So you want your torso to stay nice and straight, keeping your head and your eyes looking across the room. So you want your weight in your heels, sitting back like you're going to sit down into a chair. Just dropping that kettlebell right in between your feet. Now, if that's too much, if it hurts your hips or your knees, or you don't have the strength to do it, just go here. You can do a smaller range of motion. It's all the same principles. You're sitting your hips back. You're contracting your glutes as you stand up, and keeping your eyes across the room, shoulders back, in a good posture. All right, so find that range of motion that is a challenge to you, that is pain-free, and go ahead and do 10. Okay, now keep that same kettlebell or weight. Change your grip on it. If you've got a weight, you can just hang on to the end of the dumbbells, or you can hang on to the ends of the jug. And we're going to do bicep curls. So let your arms go all the way straight here. Curl it up to your chest. So just keep your feet about hip width apart here. Keep your abs engaged to protect your back. And you want to make sure you're going up nice and slow. And when you come up, don't do this. Don't use your back and legs. That means you might be using a little bit too heavy of a weight if you can't just curl without involving your back. So curl up and curl down nice and slowly, without getting that swing in. I see that start to happen if you've got a little bit too much weight. So if you do, it's better to use a little bit less weight and then do more then use a little bit too heavy of a weight and hurt yourself. Okay, next we're gonna grab a fit ball. If you don't have a ball, for this one you can sit in a chair or sit on a bench or a coffee table or something. A kitchen chair can be a good place to do things like this. We're going to march seated on the ball. So in order to make sure you are safe, do this next to a coffee table or a bench or a kitchen counter, you know, where the sink is so you can hang on. Because I want you to slowly march. Hanging onto the ball also gives you a little bit of stability. So if you can, slowly bring one knee up and bring it back down. So that's the goal, is to go nice and slowly both ways. The other thing, I'm going to face the camera for this one. I don't want you to, you know, kind of turn and really, if you're doing that much work to lift your knee, grab something to stabilize just a little bit. You want all of this to stay as still and straight as possible. Really utilizing that core, slowly lifting. If that's too much and you're really feeling unstable, just do tiny little marches and hang on to something. So if you can just put your hand right on it, and then if you find yourself losing your balance, you can grab it. Tiny little marches to medium marches to big slow ones. If you need more of a challenge with this, lift, hold, and then release. Lift, hold, and then release. So you find the continuum there, find which level works for you and is still a challenge and is safe for you. Okay, great. Next we're going to flip over on this ball, and you're going to put the ball right under your hips. If you don't have a ball, you can do this on the floor on like this. We're going to do a hip extension. So you can do that on the floor. So I'm going to show you on the ball. Put the ball right under your hips. Your hands are just kind of lightly supporting you here. You want to stay nice and tall, supporting, contracting your abs. We're going to do a double hip extension here. So lifting both feet up off the ground, bringing them to neutral. You don't need to bring them up way over your, you know, putting yourself in any hyperextension. You're just bringing your legs up to neutral so that you have a straight line from the top of your head down through the heels of your feet. See if you can hold it up at the top for 2 or 3 seconds. You should really be feeling this in your glutes and maybe a little bit in your hamstrings, but I want you to keep your legs straight, really making your glutes work there. If you have any low back pain with this, try it on the floor or just try one leg at a time. And just isolate one side at a time. So you can do it either way. This will be a little bit more supportive for your back. If you can though, try them both at the same time. Okay, then for the final one, we're going to stay on the ball like that and do a back extension. So if you don't have a ball, I want you on your hips like this, and I just want you to lift up your arms slightly. So that'll be all you're doing if you don't have a ball. If you do have a ball, stay in that same position, and you're gonna roll forward, actually roll backward a little bit so you're forward more on the ball. Your ribs are a little bit more on the ball. You can cross your legs, your arms here, and you're kind of rolled over the ball, and you're just gonna come up to neutral. We're not gonna go into any hyperextension, but you're going into an extension, working these big muscles in your back. You can also put your hands here. It's not a very large motion. So notice I'm barely even coming up to neutral. I'm not going here. That's really bad for your back. You don't want to go into that extension, especially if you have any prior back pain or prior back injuries. So it's just a small movement. You can even put your hands here and gently push up, but you're really working these big muscles in your back, extending into neutral, or even just a little bit before you get to neutral. So you're never going to hyperextend here. You don't want to go back here. So this is pretty hard. So you may only want to start with 5. Just pulling yourself up. Keep breathing. Okay, that's it for today. So remember to start these with a warm-up. Go all the way through them with me. You can press pause and then go, do 5 or 10 more minutes of cardio. Here comes Tubby to help me for the end. And then you can do them 2 or 3 more times through. After you've done them once through, you know what to expect. Your muscles know what to expect. They can feel a little bit easier the second time around, and then the third time around, they're going to feel a little bit harder, but that's when you really get that muscle building going. All right, enjoy. Have a great week, everybody, and I'll see you next time.